So Democratic lawmakers in Congress will be taking a lot of action today to get the spending bill passed before the end of the week. And many are debating on whether a fourth round of stimulus payments should be added to the next bill. This your fourth stimulus check update and daily news report, folks.
The President announced the release of our nation's long-term strategy to meet our commitment of achieving net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. He also announced several important initiatives to partner with other nations to tackle this crisis. As the President said in Glasgow, our administration is working overtime to show that our climate commitment is action, not just words. And to be clear, to meet our climate commitment, we must, I say to my fellow Americans, put in the work here at home. Right here in New York, we have seen climate change become a climate crisis just in the last several months. Air pollution is causing health problems like asthma. Rising sea levels are flooding streets, and storms are growing more frequent and more dangerous. Hurricane Sandy was 9 years ago, and Hurricane Ida was about 9 weeks ago. People died in these storms. Homes were destroyed in these storms. Local economies were upended because of these storms. So I'll say it again. Climate change has become a climate crisis. But today we know that this moment of crisis is also a moment of opportunity. It is an opportunity to create good union jobs. It is an opportunity to build healthier communities and stronger local economies. It is an opportunity to build a better nation. Last week, our administration announced our Build Back Better framework. This framework, together with the bipartisan infrastructure deal, represents the largest effort to combat climate change in our nation's history. We will reduce emissions by investing in electric vehicles, clean energy, and clean manufacturing. We will invest in the communities that have been hit the hardest by the impact of climate change. And at the same time, we will create millions of good union jobs. Once these bills are passed, auto workers will manufacture electric cars and electric school buses. Once these bills are passed, plumbers will fill the jobs we need to replace all those lead pipes. Young people will join our new civilian climate corps. These are the opportunities we have within our grasp right now. And so our administration has been working hard at focusing on every detail because details matter. And the President and I are confident that we have a framework that will pass. Climate change, well, it's not slowing down, and neither can we. We must deliver for the American people. So that's why our administration will continue to take every possible action to meet our nation's climate commitment. It has long been the role and the responsibility of our government to mitigate, to reduce, to try and eliminate any harm to public health. And as you may know, last week the United States Supreme Court decided to hear a case on whether to limit the EPA's power to regulate greenhouse gas emissions. Well, y'all know I used to be an attorney general, And I want to make something clear. Our administration believes that the Supreme Court should reaffirm what it has said before, that the EPA has the authority to keep our families and our communities safe from pollution. And today, as Secretary Granholm mentioned, we have announced 2 new initiatives led by the Secretary and our Department of Energy. First, a new partnership between our government and private companies to drive innovation in electric heat pumps. This will not only cut down on emissions, it will help families save on their monthly energy bills. It creates an opportunity to create jobs in the community and to grow the skills of the young people in our communities to participate in doing this work.
Democrats are now scrambling to fill the details of their social and climate spending plan. That's of the Biden's proposal for a scaled-back bill, lit a fire under lawmakers who want to see their personal priorities included. The White House had hoped to unify the party by unveiling a new framework for the $1.75 trillion bill, bridging divisions between progressives and moderates, and unlocking the stalled-out bipartisan infrastructure bill that passed the Senate months ago. Instead, Biden set off a high-stakes lobbying effort to try to make changes to the eventual bill, with Democratic leadership urging members to move quickly if they wanted something added or removed. Nancy Pelosi also told reporters the text is there for you to review, and we'll see what consensus emerges from that. Pelosi added in a letter to her caucus that the feedback is welcome and necessary to help get a bill ready on the floor. Now, though Biden and White House officials spoke to congressional Democrats several times about the framework, lawmakers quickly signaled that they did not need to view the outline revealed. Bernie Sanders also said, "What I will say to you is to have the outline of a very significant piece of legislation. I want us to make it better, and I will make the effort along with others." Now, when Democrats can come to an agreement on what will be in the spending bill, it impacts the timing of the House vote on the infrastructure bill. Progressives are pushing for an understanding, potentially including bill text, with Senate moderates, who they worry could otherwise overhaul the White House package. Manchin and Sinema both sounded positive about the negotiations, but neither has publicly said that they support the framework, and they are both at the center of intense lobbying efforts from their colleagues, who want them back, adding additional priorities. Sinema and Jayapal met this week amid the distrust between House liberals and Senate moderates, and Sinema was spotted chatting with Chris Murphy, who has been deeply involved in negotiations. So Democrats in both chambers are engaged in a flurry of negotiations to try to get the ability for Medicare to negotiate pricing into the spending bill. The House version of the legislation included a broad plan, but it faced pushback from moderates. Even a narrow proposal from Representative Scott Peters has run into roadblocks.